Midday is so nurturing that whenever I look deep into her eyes, all I could see is my mother.
You guys, this was the highlight for me. Like, Mide's facial expression was just very hilarious. And do you know what came to my mind when he said that? It was given, when I look into your eyes, all I see is your waist. You guys know that the video song now. Which one is when I look into your eyes, all I see is my mother? Like, yo, did he read that line how many times? How did he arrive at that? Like, it was just very crazy. And then, of course, her facial expression made it even funnier, right? So it was quite. In fact, I need to play it again. I need to play it again so that we'll hear it together again.
Midday is so nurturing that whenever I look deep into her eyes, all I could see is my mother.
When I look into your eyes, all I see is your waist. So, you guys, let us talk about the Aquafina task. This is one task that I feel like it's usually interesting year after year, obviously, because most of us want to hear what some of the housemates have to say about the other housemates. And, it gets emotional somehow. Although I feel like this year they didn't even get as emotional as some previous years. And then another thing that made it stand out, made it different from like what we've seen before, is the fact that there was more room for the housemates to talk about more people and give them something. So there was a necklace, a bracelet, right? So if you don't get necklace, you most likely get bracelets. So there was like, okay, you have a party of life, and then you have another person that is either you want to connect to the person, or the person is just a friend, or just whatever connection that you have with the person, you can just give that person. So that helps more of them to receive. So all of them received something. If you did not get necklace, now bracelets where you could get. So yeah, that helps. So welcome back to my channel, guys. If you are new here, please do well to like, share, subscribe, and all the good stuff. And don't forget to turn on your post notifications so that you can get notified when I post a brand new video. So of course, I'm not going to play everything that is said because I am not multi-choice, obviously. So for I'm just going to be reading out how they presented their stuff, right? So we had Couture. His own speech was to Jason J and Tracy. So you're supposed to talk about your party of life in the house, and one from like the evicted housemates, right? So his party of life was Jason J from the house and Tracy from the outside, and then he gave Ruboy his bracelet. So basically, would I say supporting character? The supporting party of life was Ruboy. So those are the two people that came on stage to receive their gifts from him. For Sultana, she gave Jason, like the person that she wrote her speech to was Jason J, and then for the outside it was Gigi Jasmine. Then for the bracelets, the person she gave her bracelet was Isabella. She just said, she's someone that they've started connecting very well in recent times, and she would like for that connection to continue. So let me just play briefly what um she said, because it got to a point where she almost got teary, and she said she didn't want to just say so much so that she was not going to tear up, right? Let's play that.
I don't want to talk much because I don't want to tear up. I've written some stuff about Gigi and I don't want to tear up. But I genuinely love you as a friend.
Oh. Then for Kobo, his outside paddy was Avatar, and then his inside paddy was Imisi. Imisi was very surprised. Like, I don't think she saw that coming, and even for us, I was like, okay, interesting, right? I did not also see that coming. She was just like, her facial expression self was like, oh, it was giving oh. So yeah, his party of life. Let me just play it briefly so that you guys can have an idea.
The very first week in the house, you were the only person I felt connected to based on your love for God and how spiritual you are.
And then for Isabella, she was the first person that cried, cried, cried. Okay, no, Sultana, yeah, like cried, cried, cried. Sultana got teary before Isabella. She literally like had tears all over. So for her party of life from the outside, she chose Avatar, and for inside she chose Sultana. And then Imisi was like, would I say the supporting character, the person that she gave her bracelet. So what happens is they are going to read out like the speech that you prepare. You have it for your party of life on the outside, and then you prepare like two. One is for your party of life from the outside, and then the other one is for your party of life from like among the housemates in the house. But the person that's receiving the bracelets, you don't really have to like say anything. You just say, okay, the person I would like to give my bracelet is this. So they didn't prepare special like write up for the people that they gave their bracelets. So I'm just explaining the dynamics. So for Isabella, like I said, Avatar, Sultana, then Imisi was the one that received the bracelets from her, and she was very emotional on stage. So yeah, they just came up to receive it, and yeah, she was basically crying and all of that. For Jason J, um he gave shout outs to a lot of people. I was like, okay, I thought we are supposed to just have two parties. So he was the first person that came and spoke about several people. After which, so many other people did. A few other people did the same, but like he was the first person to do it. And when he did it, I was like, ah, okay. Oh, so he gave a shout out to Culture, Ruboy, Faith, and then he now gave one to Dede. And Dede was like, the facial expression she gave, she was like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, what? Sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? That was what her facial expression was giving. For the outside person, his speech was dedicated to Doris, and for his inside party of life, the speech was dedicated to Sultana. Let me just play that part where they did her facial expression when he called.
Day, a refreshing paddy. You've always been, and I think you'll always be a breath of fresh air. A big thank you to everyone.
Hey God, not to we not go see for this house. It's so funny how their friendship went from being so cute or being cool to like being on completely opposite sides. So this is when Sultana came and then he wore her the necklace, right? And then who did he even give his bracelets to safe? Okay, I think it was Ruboy. I've been a Kocho. Omo, was one of them, Sha. I think it's Kocho that he gave his bracelet to. So the next person was um hold on. Okay. So for Midday, right? Midday, her outside person was Doris. I was quite surprised by that. I didn't know that they were even close. It's okay. I don't think it was coming from a place of closeness, but it was just like, oh, I appreciate this person, very active in tasks and all of that. So her outside person was Doris, her inside person was Bright. And then she now gave a shout out to Joanna and Telma, but the person that received the bracelet from her was
When life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. Our friendship is the lemonade and our connection is the lemon.
So that was her part of her speech to Bright, and then they now came out to receive their stuff from her. That's the bracelets and the necklace, right? So the next person was Koyin. For Koyin, he dedicated his outside party of life speech to Big Soso, his inside speech to Dede, and then he gave his bracelets to Mensan. So he was just talking about Dede being his bestie, being beautiful. He said a lot of nice things about her, like okay, that their relationship they understand each other. He even yabbed her small because they used to call themselves Apambo, and I can't remember the other thing, but he used it. He used it there. I was like, these people are not serious.
Diddy, aka Akbambo One. She's a good friend. We two have cool, sweet, nice conversations together, and we understand each other. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Then yeah, this is where he now gave Mensan the bracelet. For Telma, meanwhile, Koyin and Isabella, it's so crazy how their whole thing just went sour. Like overnight and they've not spoken to each other in a long time. These housemates, their friendships are so surface that once something happens, it's just literally a switch. It's crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. For Telma, she threw she was throwing shades. She's like, she's talking about Sabrina, like with her, she doesn't have to worry about, people being fake and just her being herself and everything. I was like, Telma, 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 Telma.
I'm at peace. I don't have to worry about fake energy because with you, what I see is exactly what I get. How amazing it feels to have a transparent paddy like you in a life where I have experienced mostly two-faced humans.
Then yeah, Joanna was her party of life in the house. Her second speech was dedicated to Joanna, and then for the bracelet, she gave it to Kobo. She basically told him that she offended him last week, so she's dedicating her bracelet to him, right? And then next we had Bright.
She never
That's
took
when
advantage of any situation.
I don't know why this thing keeps making me laugh.
Midday is
Anyway,
so nurturing that whenever I look deep into her eyes, all I could see is my mother.
it's a waste. Anyway, Brian dedicated his outside speech to Gigi, inside to Midday, and then his bracelets to Kola, right? And then Midday, okay, first of all, let's talk about I already spoke about Midday. So for Imisi, it was Big Soso on the outside, Kola on the inside, and then Kebobo, she gave her bracelets too. So she just read out what she had for Kola,
You
right?
can never be caught on fresh. Your clothes are always well ironed and clean. You pick up things around you even before eating whole. Seated around a you are the most creepiest party of them all. You are a true definition of good upbringing.
Wahaler, wahaler. Then we had men's son, right? So for his outside party of life, he dedicated his speech to Dumbo's kid, and then for inside, he dedicated to Faith, and then for his bracelet, he gave it to Koyin. When he got Faith, Faith's eyes were basically giving. Okay, I didn't see that coming. So he just like, read out his speech and then mentioned Faith, right?
My clearest party ever in this house goes to Faith. This friend can be a professor in English, very articulate.
See Faith's face. It was like, really? Really? That kind of thing, like, really? Yeah, so the two people that got just bracelets, meaning they didn't have like a dedicated speech per se, were Telma and Mensan, right? I think yeah. So for Joanna, she dedicated her outside speech to Victory and her inside speech to Faith, and then she gave her bracelets to Telma, right? So she obviously had a lot to say about Faith, even about Victory too. You know, their friendship been there that time, so she spoke about both of them.
I can recall the first day we actually spoke, and I walked up to you and I said, I love the way you speak with so much passion and intent. Faith, from the very first day we actually had the conversation, I just knew there was something different about your particular mind. You are my purest party of life.
Yeah. So next we have Rude Boy. So Rude Boy, his outside speech was dedicated to Denari. His inside speech was dedicated to Zita. Right? Their friendship in recent times, it has been growing. So he now gave his bracelets to Jason, but he gave a shout out to a lot of them, like a lot of them. He was just giving a shout out. Robo has a lot of friends. So yeah. Let me just see if I don't know if I captured the video for this one, but let me see. Okay, I don't think I did. So yeah, we had him with Zita. And then we had Dede. For Dede, her outside speech was dedicated to Ibifubara. When she mentioned Ibifubara, I was like, yeah, nice. I don't know. I just wanted someone to call her name because it was giving forgotten, gone and forgotten. So when she called her name, I was like, yeah, Ibifubara is somebody that I expected for them to like shout out to at least. And then her inside Padi, her speech was dedicated to Koyin, and still talking about the best friendship, between them, and their bond and all of that. It was quite cute. Like Dede's speech to Koyin and Koyin's speech to Dede. It was nice. I was like, okay, let's say this bestie ship done very, 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 very strong. And then her bracelet, she gave it to Midday, but she also gave a shout out to Joanna.
Midday, Joanna, and Koyin. I am in for it. Because I'll always be by the sideline cheering for you, and I'll always be the loudest voice in the room, filled with thousands of people, and no voice will come close to mine. You'll be great, and I'll be there. To my best friend, my paddy, my surest paddy.
You'll be great and I'll be there. Chai, chai, chai. I'll be the loudest in the room cheering for you. Oh, so sweet, so cute. Then for Kola, his outside speech was dedicated to Sabrina. His inside speech was dedicated to Imisi. And then for his bracelet, it was like, he wanted to shout out to Kobo and Bright. But yeah, I think the bracelet was for Bright. So he got emotional, right, in his own speech. He literally cried at some point, but he was just describing when himself and Nimisi started connecting and when they first met and
I
all of
told her
that.
to come downstairs to the main lounge to sing the song for me particularly. And she sang it beautifully well, and that got me really teary. And that got me really emotional. Purest Padi. I am my BBN sister.
So you my dearest party, you my junior sister. Then for Faith, his outside party of life was Ortega, and inside was Couture. So he said he would have said something about Joanna, but 4 minutes was not enough for him to say all he had to say about her. So he's like, okay, no problem. I'm just gonna give her my bracelets. Maybe I'll say what I need to say about her in the house and all of that. And for Couture, I like what he said about him in terms of like the recycling thing. He mentioned that Couture usually takes all the bottles and puts them like in a separate bag for recycling, which is very, very nice. Like for someone to be dedicated to doing that. And he actually talked about how that came about. Apparently it's something that he used to do when he was younger. He used to gather bottles and sell it for like 1 5 a day to eat. So because of that, that's where he develops the habit from, and he knows the value of those things. Yeah.
Every day, Culture stacks bottles of Aquafina. He recycles them and he packs it by himself and he takes it to the garbage place. He has never been asked to do it. He has never been begged to do it.
Aquafina, say you're hearing, no, you people should sign. People should give Kocho water for 1 year, water supply for a year, because that's a good one. And then for Zeta, of course, Damboskid on the outside, and then Ruboy on the inside. There are some people that are only just very straightforward. Yeah, and then for her bracelet, she gave it to Day Day. So at the end of the day, the winners were Faith and Kola. Their criteria, they had several criteria that they used to judge, and at the end of the day, those were the people that won the task.
Faith and Kola, your paddies are lucky to have had you speak about them and your connections the way you both did.
Yep, yep, yep. Then Kola sometimes used to stress somebody. He now went to meet Dede. He was telling her that he wanted to write about her, but because he saw that she didn't write about him, he just like did not now proceed. And he was now trying to tell her the things that he had in mind to say to her. She was like, nah, don't do that. If you didn't say it out in the open, there's no need coming to now tell me here. Just leave it at that. Happy, yeah.
I feel like the calm in my stomach whenever I feel like a lot is going in this house.
I mean, not in a bad way. It's just like you didn't say it, so I don't think I want to hear it on private. Anyways.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Save it. Keep it to yourself. Since you didn't say it, there's no point. You know. Anyway, I'm not even going to stress myself talking about anything that has to do with Their situation at this point is stressful. Kola, 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 Kola. Let me sing the way they used to sing his name. Kola, Kola, Kola. I would like for Big Brother to punish, like with the punishment he should give. This punishment he has been giving him to write on book it's not enough. It's not good. You should just punish him to not talk for a day, just a day. She give him that punishment. Even though I know people that will not want to do it because he's looking for content. But you should just try that. Let me see. I'm gonna see. I would like to see how Kola is going to be for that day. You probably fall sick. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I just want to talk about the Aquafina task and yeah, for the things happening in the house. The house has been pretty chilled and some bad energy or some things here and there, but nothing sabi at this point. So thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Bye. Love you. Kisses.